Welcome to Diversity in the Workplace. In the following scenario, you're going to meet John, a project engineer who meets a partner engineer from another location for the first time and turns out to be someone he was not expecting. John, I have hotspot engineers on ready for that web call.
Alright, great. Remind me who I'm chatting with?
You'll be chatting with Spencer. And by the way, the rest of the team finds her pretty sharp stuff, and she seems to know how to get the contractors to work over there.
She?
Yes.
Okay, well, did we get Ms. Spencer's first name?
That is her first name, and don't try to get me to enunciate her last name, or let alone spell it.
Oh, great. This is what I get to deal with now. Thanks. What room is he in? I mean, she. Sorry.
Room 5, and good luck.
Thanks. Okay.
Good evening, my name is Miranda. I'm here with HR Solutions, which is a company that your company hired in order to conduct a training needs analysis for the recent performance gaps in your productivity. Teamwork has always been valued by your company. So after doing our training needs analysis, we realized that a lot of the reason for the performance gaps have been a lack of diversity awareness throughout the workforce. So in this training, the skills that we're going to assess are communication skills, teamwork skills, conflict resolution skills, and diversity. In order to verify that this training works, we have two objectives that we put forth for you guys that you should be able to comply with after the training. The first one is to list or categorize the diverse composition of the employee base. That means being able to tell us more or less the amount of women to men, the different genders, and the different religions and ethnicities in the company. Marice is going to go over that with you guys a little bit later. The second one is to be able to list the relevant laws and regulations that pertain to diversity awareness. Thomas is going to go over that with you guys. And the last thing is that just so it's not about objectives for you guys, we have some organizational objectives that will be able to measure if the organization has bettered itself after the training as well. And the first one will be to increase employee morale that will be shown through the satisfaction surveys that they give you guys periodically. And the second one will be to increase overall performance, which will be shown through efficiency statistics like sales and other measurements. Now Thomas is going to take it away with some.
Hi, my name is Thomas. Today we're going to discuss some of the legal compliance issues in terms of our diversity training. First we're going to discuss the Civil Rights Act of 1964, also known as Title VII. This act exposes a lot of employers to liability, and this is a premise for where a lot of lawsuits occur. Basically, the gist of what it is it prohibits discrimination based on color, race, sex, religion, or national origin. Secondly, we're going to discuss the Age Discrimination of Employment Act that was enacted in 1967. Basically, the purpose of this act is to protect older employees from discrimination in benefits eligibility, promotions, hiring, wages, or termination of employment, benefits, and layoffs. Older employees may not have a reduction in benefits that otherwise, other employees, whether they be younger or older, wouldn't be entitled to. Job notices can also not be discriminatory, advising a preference towards a particular. The third legal compliance issue we're going to talk about today is the Americans with Disabilities Act, also known as ADA, that applies to employees who have physical or mental disabilities. The employer must reasonably accommodate or make an attempt to accommodate employees who have one of these issues. Okay, perhaps the most important legal compliance issue that we're going to discuss today is the EEOC. What they are is the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. They apply to employment issues such as firing, hiring, promotions, training, harassment, benefits, and wages. If you do discover that you feel you were discriminated against, I do advise that you speak to your administrator. If you happen to get nowhere with them, I do suggest you do call the EEOC. The EEOC does help mitigate or settle claims, so obviously that's a resource to you. And now I'm going to go over to Yanetsi.
Thank you, Thomas. I'm going to cover cultural diversity. Culture basically refers to the distinct ways that people share identity, are socialized to experience and interact with the world around them. It will be important for you to know that because as a team members, you share the way that your beliefs, your decisions, or your point of view with your coworkers, and that affects the job performance that you do. In a little bit, we're going to go over all the dimensions of that the culture has. A good question to start with is who I am. Are you an independent person or interdependent person? If you're the first case, you're taking care of yourself. You're a selfish person, and for the same reason, you're putting your own interest and well-being above those of your group. You're more competitive with your colleagues, and you feel comfortable with an open conflict environment. As the opposite is you're an interdependent person, you take care of the others, you put groups' interests and well-being above your own, and basically employees emphasize cooperation with others, collective decisions, and the open conflicts is considered as a root issue. By instance, if you're a doing person, you focus on personal achievements. If you're a task accomplished person, and that's your priority. If you're a being person, focus on personal qualities, relationships, and quality of life will be the first thing that drive you. Achievement status is good to have when you encourage, if you have a competitive behavior, but you may be seen as an individualistic person, and you would value always youth over age. As the opposite as an inscription status, if you want to achieve that, basically your earning status through age, family, and social connections. And what you're doing is you encourage the use of titles, organizational hierarchies, and you value age over youth as well. How do I deal with time? That will be another topic to cover in a few minutes. How do I deal with time? Well, I'm considering myself a fixed-oriented person. Why? Because I put too much attention in schedules and deadlines. To me, those are our priorities. And in the same topic, I'm seeing lateness as rude and disrespectful to my coworkers. By instance, if you have a fluid orientation, you are more care about engaging in relationships that clocks and calendars, and you may be late in your assignments, which can be seen rude as well if you have fixed-oriented team workers. How do I relate to the environment? That's another topic that my co-worker Osmin is going to talk about.
Thank you, Yanetsi. Now I'm going to continue talking about different dimensions of personalities in culture. I want to talk about high power distance and low power distance. Power distance basically relates to how much power are willing people to take on the inequalities of the different countries and the different cultures. For example, high power distance believe in a state that people follow leaders, people follow the rules, and they don't like to question, or they don't feel comfortable questioning the powers that direct those decisions. The extent that they're more into the formal relationships, they're following chain of command, they see society as a pyramid where the rules come down from the top, and they don't question, they're not, decisions are not welcome, I mean opinions from other sources are not welcome, and everything is basically dictated. This is common to societies such as China, places like Cuba, places where there's dictatorships. Low power distances is indicative of places like Canada, Australia, the United States, where opinions are welcome. Society sees those type of more as a pancake or like a plate where all decisions are welcome, everything is being done in a consensus, even though there's people in the power and people that you know, bring down decisions on how to do things. It's more of an open, formal, open discussion rather than just dictating what's going to go. The way that you handle some of those situations is being aware of what type of country you come from, you know, the way they do different things. For managers or for other type of people in the supervisor areas, the thing is to balance how you take opinions, how you dictate those things, and to be able to bring those people that aren't used to being opinionated into their conversation. Now I want to talk about the universalism, particularism. Universalisms are the type of culture that really follow rules. People that follow a way of doing things, such as having contracts for when you do negotiations. Also following the rule of law, like you know, stopping at the red light or going on the green light. In countries where particularism is, they focus more on relationships and circumstances and emphasize on promises. It's more of a handshake and you are my friend, so we're going to do these things this way. It's okay, we just bend the rules. We're family, and so we're going to go with that. Also, we're going to talk about formality and informality. Formality has to do with people that have the customs of being formal. They dress formal, they talk formal. Titles are very important to those people, like Mr., Mrs., Doctor. Everything begins with a title. Informality, you know, is sort of kind of coming to our society a little bit. We have a little more like casual Fridays and pizza Wednesdays, and so everything's become less casual in the workplace nowadays. Some people welcome that, but it's become kind of informal because now the people that come from formality cultures, they get here and sometimes they don't know what to feel about if the bosses are being really respected, or you know, so they bridge that gap by saying Mr. Susan, Mr. Rogers, or Miss Susan, and so that way they can bridge the differences between formality.
Hello everyone, now we're going to talk about religion. But first, let's start with because we lost the nail, we lost the horseshoe. Because we lost the horseshoe, we lost a horse. Because we lost the horse, we lost the rider. And because we lost the rider, we lost the battle. And because we lost the battle, we lost the war. Now, at the end, one of you will come up here and try to tell me how that translates into the organization environment. As you may see, our employee base is composed of very different individuals. Individuals that hold different religions and therefore different beliefs. Those beliefs have been the basics of some controversy within the organization. Some complaints have been filed about personal issues getting in the way of communication within the workplace. Now, before we get started, I want to tell you that we respect your values and we respect Now let's talk about a very special quality we all have, our ability to reason. The dictionary defines reason as the power of the mind to think, understand, and form judgments by a process of logic. Now, what does all that mean? It means we have the ability to think, and then reason. Okay, now I would like to talk about the golden rule. Do unto others what you would like them to do to you. What does that mean? It means show others respect and care, the same respect and care you like them to show you. Now, remember, be nice to one another, regardless of your religion, your ethnicity, your culture, and keep in mind the one thing that we're all here for, to achieve a job well done. Okay, now I would like to put this into perspective for you guys. I will give you an example and two ways to resolve it. Suppose a coworker said something or did something to you that you didn't like. You have option one. You can just be angry about it and say, oh, wait until next time and I'll get back at you. Or you can go to option two and go to that person and tell them, look, at what you said or what you did really, really hurt me. And you might be surprised that person might not even know that what he said or she said or did to you was offensive in that way. And now if we do all these things we will learn throughout today, remember that employee morale will be up, there will be an increase in communications, we'll break that barrier, and there will be an increase in productivity resulting in